Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be working with Pilea peperomioides, a nice houseplant that's kind of trendy these days. I acquired mine last year and I haven't done much on them in videos, but I just shot a video of just showing my collection and talking about my little experiments I've done with them. Too much light, too little light, just right light, fertilizer, moisture, stuff like that. So if you missed that video on how you actually care for them, make sure you look at my previous video that I just did. And then I promised in the next video we would be doing some separation of some pups and multiplying these plants. So first off, let's just talk about how these guys do multiply. And my experiments were, I put the two that I got over here in big pots, and I put them in clear pots because I wanted to see what was going to happen with the roots. And they do grow amazingly huge root systems. You keep your plant in a small pot, it's going to stay small. You keep it in a big pot, it's going to get bigger and in theory produce a bunch of pups. Now, I showed you this guy in the last video, and this was a cutting I got. This was one of my first plants I got. It was an unrooted cutting, and I paid too much for it in the mail, and yeah, it was shipped to me. And then I had to root it. And it didn't look like this. It had a few leaves on it and it was quite small. But anyways, these guys will multiply in a couple different ways. One of the easiest ways, and you can see it already happening with this one, is little divisions come off the main stem itself. So we can get an angle here. There we go. So you can see it coming off sideways. And this guy, if I was to allow it to grow big enough, I could take a sharp pair of scissors or a razor blade and cut that off and then root it. They root very easily. I rooted these ones just directly in the media you see, and we'll talk more about the media in just a second. But yeah, they grow off like the center of the stem. Let's see. Look at this one here. So they're poor examples because they're so tiny, but I am just starting with these collections myself. So you can see there in the center of the screen, one is coming right off the stem itself. So that is one way these guys multiply. And I'm assuming this one multiplied that way because it didn't have any really substantial root system itself, you know, less than a year ago. So looking forward to some little pups off that one. Now, on my bigger plant over here, which has been in the greenhouse, I have got 3 cute little fully rooted Pilea pups. And I'm calling them pups. I don't know if that's the term for them, but they seem like a pup sort of plant. So anyways, look at that. Super cute, ready to go, fully rooted. And I ended up with 3 of them off of that one. And you're going to go, well, how did you end up with 3 of them off of that one? And I'm going to show you next, because the one that I had indoors in my grow room, it's looking a little funny because it got blasted with some light. And it was just a little bit too much light. We talked about light again in the last video, so check that video out as to reasons I think my plant sort of looks like this in the crown recently. But check this out. So, big pot. Look at all these little pups coming up in the media itself. And I mentioned in the last video, you can see in one of the pots the roots coming right down. So they're big, substantial roots. They're very big. I don't know if you can be able to see that, but that is actually like, you can see like leaves coming off that. That was the other point of a clear pot. I wanted to see just like what was going on in here. And yeah, so they grow. There's roots actually coming out of the bottom of this pot. And this has only been in here since last early summer. But I recently, being I bought these at the same time, I recently divided off the pups on this one. And I did it successfully, and I wanted to show you how to do it too. And yeah, super easy. And I think that's the best way to get pups. Just put them in a big pot, let them be. You're not going to be like mass producing these things or anything, but with these 2 plants in less than a year, I have 7 extra plants from little pups down here. So anyways, let's get started. I'll show you how I did it on my other one, on this one. Things we are going to need: a sharp pair of scissors. I use a little spoon. You can use a little shovel or whatever. The other one I did in my greenhouse. That's where this one lives. We're in the house filming today just because the lighting is a little bit nicer in here right now. It's kind of a cloudy day out there. And I have prepared my media. So some people call it media potting soil. I'm so used to working with plants that don't like nutrients in their soil. We don't call it soil, we call it media or medium. This is peat moss, Miracle Grow potting mix. I've added a bunch of extra perlite for drainage and a bit of sand as well, just again for some drainage. One piece of sphagnum moss made it in there from somewhere else. But yeah, so just an airy, well-drained mix. Let's see if we can get a good shot for you. Let's see. Is that going to be a good shot? That's a pretty good shot. You really zoomed in, so it's kind of like pixely. But what can we do, right? Let's maybe move you in this way. And down. Okay. So we'll lock you in place there, and hopefully you're going to be able to see. We'll work on this guy because he's the biggest. So it seems like all the little roots or the runners come straight out from the plant, and they're very, very shallow. That was one thing that was very surprising on these guys. Although you've seen the one go straight down into the bottom of the pot, I think for the most part they like to be pretty shallow. So what I did, and this size is perfect because the roots aren't very huge, I just went in here and slowly dug up under. I'm even using the back side of the spoon because I don't need that much leverage here. And so I lifted it up, and you can see the roots are pretty shallow under there. There's nothing going down too deep right now. They seem to spread across the surface of the pot and then head down after that. So I'm not sure where that one's going, but so I just kind of did that, and we're going to find the root to make a cut. The easiest way to do that, let's see if we can get you back in some light again. It moved, is I found a spray water bottle and just clean it up a little bit. And there we go, the root will be coming into view. And there it is. So, sorry, every time I put my hand there it changes the lighting and it changes the focus. So now I've exposed the root right there. And it should be pretty easy to make that cut. You can see it on the camera now pretty easily. And I'm going to go in, I'm going to use a pair of scissors and cut it. And it's really that easy. And I don't know after time if the roots start going down more or what, but this is a fully rooted little pup. Look at that beautiful little plant. Good size already. Some good roots that were growing across the surface, not deep at all, so it's nice to not have to dig for them. And then I have exposed a little cutting here, and I like to just leave that exposed for a few days just to let some air dry it out. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that on camera or not. It is right there at the tip of my finger. You can kind of see it. I'm just going to leave that exposed for a few days. I would just worry about burying a fresh cut and having bacteria or whatever get in it. So then as for this guy, you can see now nicely where I have cleaned off the cut. I haven't found you need to do anything at this point. These plants grow pretty readily, especially having the full root system. So we can back this off. Put that down. And you can see where this is going with this. So I've already prepared my mix. I'm going to fill it up here. Just like so. I give it a push down ahead of time because the soil likes to pack up or pack down. So you might as well do that first. And being it's a very shallow root system, we are going to put it right like so. And I was careless and broke a little leaf off. And there we go. So what I'm going to do with this now is give it a quick little drink of water. like so. Make sure the little roots are settled in there. And then what I did with the other ones was, just as a safety precaution, I threw it in a little bag for about 7 days to make sure that it was going to root properly. And I just put a hair clip on the top of the bag, or an orchid clip, and kept it in high humidity for about a week, until I knew that they were going to be happy and healthy. And yeah, that's all there is to it. So that adds another plant to my collection there. Now I have 4 little pups from my 4 original plants. So I've doubled my collection in less than a year that I've had it. Plus I have 3 more little pups in this pot to work with. Now I'm not going to work with those on camera with you today. Working on camera means things go twice as slow, but and you don't need to see all 4 done. But I would suspect that this is going to branch off somewhere in further and produce more pups and more pups and more pups. And I might even get some little plantlets coming off the stem pretty soon as well. So I hope you like this video, and if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And as always, thanks for watching. Bye guys.